You're listening to KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine.
The opinions and views expressed in this program do not reflect those of KUCI, its management, or the UC Board of Regents. To find out more about this talk show or other talk shows broadcasting on KUCI, log on to our website at kuci.org or check out the latest program guide.
This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at the John Kirby Studio for their presentation of A Steady Rain. Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
RJ DeBard. I originally moved out here from Ohio, where I went to school at Bowling Green State University, and I was part of the theater program there. And shortly after that, I think it was the summer that I ended school, I moved out here. So there it is. I moved out like with a dream, with a car full of everything that I could possibly put in that car, and a dream. And so here we are.
And which character you play?
I played Denny. I actually think that Denny is not the lead of the play. Denny is more of the anti-hero that you then come to like, because what the other character is, I think he's the conscious of the play. I think he's the one that kind of is the more level-headed. I'm kind of gregarious. I'm kind of a bit racist, but I've been a cop for a while. The way I was raised, I've been raised in this neighborhood forever, so I have my beliefs, and those beliefs, I think, are so prevalent today. And when people have beliefs and they're deeply rooted, they will have these beliefs, and that will be the belief that they carry throughout anything. But I think through the through line of the play, I think you really get to know Denny.
I definitely loved the piece, and I loved your acting in it. You were definitely the anti-hero, and actually the way it played, kind of tragic. It was almost like a Shakespearean play. I mean, you think about the character you were playing. You were actually the focus, the arc of the entire story.
Wow. Well, I guess there's two huge people that you have to respect for the comment that you just made, and one is John Kirby for the direction that he had done with the play, because Keith Huff also, who's the second that I would think that you have to give ode to, he wrote a brilliant script. He took it to Chicago, he took it to New York, two famous actors in New York did it, but they did it completely different than us, and John Kirby, he brings it to life. I think we are doing it a lot of justice. I think what originally was going on is people were just sitting at a table saying lines, and it became like a storytelling thing. But I think we really put it into motion where you actually start caring about these people. And that's an ode to John, but let me not say that Keith Huff, who writes for everything that's popular and great right now, I mean, you saw the play. The script is amazing. It's tough to act, but then at the same time, it's really not that tough to act, because if it was not well written, it'd be a lot tougher to act. He gives us such gems in that script, and with John figuring out what he wants to do with it, it turns into what it was. And I think it's a great show, and I think people are responding to it. I think it's very socially relevant to this time period that we're in right now. And plus, if you like drama between people, if this is the play to come see this play. You will not be disappointed. We give our all, both actors. I mean, we're giving everything. I think it shows.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. First of all, like you said, this may be a difficult play to play. And if you had two bad actors, it would be really hard to sit through the whole thing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but basically, again...
So you sat through it, right?
Yes, I did. Okay. It was like two surgeons. I mean, given a complex surgery that they have to do. It was a very exciting play. A lot happened. There were car chases. There were fights. There were actually muggings. There was beatings.
Yeah.
And all that was done by two actors, in which there was no, there's no
action
in
that. As we're talking about it, yeah. And as I said again, I'll reiterate, John did a great job at encapsulating everything. And when I'm in Rhonda's place, I'm over there. Everything is very, very thought out, but yet very, very loose. and very, no night is exactly the same.
Yeah, basically, again, like I said before, I love the play. How would I rate this? I would rate it excellent. I would actually rate it one of the top plays I've seen all year. We're halfway through the year. I would actually, because
Thank you.
Again, two actors, almost Shakespearean in its story.
Yeah, in the scope of it, yes.
Exactly. The emotions you go through infidelity, you go through lying, you go through anger, you go through elation, you go through all those emotions, and
that's the most difficult thing to play. Is like my character has to go through so much of a range of emotion, but it's not a range of emotion where it just kind of goes like, sometimes they say, you got that, and then you got to bring it back, and then you get it, and you got to go. And John challenged me. He was like, I know you can do it. I'm going to put you through the ringer right now by telling you got to be this way during this scene. Like, quickly after being this way, you have to be a completely different way. And I'd like to think that, he would be proud of what I'm doing, and I say, like, every night is different on stage. It's different than film and television. I mean, film and television, you do a take, you do it differently. You don't know what they're going to use, but on stage, it's like we're fired out of a cannon. From the first line that I say, when we come out, music stops, I go in, we're fired out of a cannon. We don't stop, And we're taking these characters through an arc, and these characters tend to like change throughout the whole play to where we hope that you're invested enough at the end of the play where you really care about these characters. And the greatest thing that I've ever heard in the past run is like audible crying at the last scene. That's when you know you have an audience that you have. And I think the way that John's directed the play, I think the way that we're acting it, I've never felt like, audiences are different all the time, but I've never felt that an audience hasn't been with us for the ride, because I think it's a good play. And I really do think that you should come see it. Everybody should come see it.
Yeah, again, I thought it was excellent. Actually, I thought it was like Hamlet. What do you think, like Hamlet?
Wow. Who's Hamlet? Him or me? I don't know. Are there two Hamlets in Hamlet? Maybe that's something we should dig up William Shakespeare and figure it out. Maybe there could be two Hamlets. Maybe Hamlet had a twin brother, and that's the play.
Yeah. Okay, once again, I really love the performance. I really loved your performance. You were fantastic. Again, one of the best performances I've seen this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words. And
okay. Thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Andy Hoff. I'm originally from the East Coast, New York. I ran a theater company that I founded there for, 7 or 8 years, and then I moved out here. And it's been a long time since I put on any theater shoes, but I've been, doing a lot of work in film and TV in my time here. So this is a special chance for me to get to do something that I haven't done in a long time. So. I played Joey, so he's a Chicago cop who kind of gets caught up in things that are a little bit out of his control and a little above his wits. Even though, there are really no heroes in this play necessarily, I definitely think Joey is a good man at heart. He wants to do the right thing. He wants the things that everybody wants. He just makes some missteps. He's sort of under the wing of his best friend, his lifelong best friend, who doesn't necessarily play by the rules, and he's easily swayed by that. And then when he sees an opportunity to get some of the things that he has wanted his whole life, he, I think, surprises himself by making some decisions that he didn't know he was capable of.
I love this performance. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's kind. This is the hardest play that I've ever worked on. It's so. It really requires everything for both actors that we have. It covers the entire spectrum of human emotion and experience, and it's a real pleasure and frightening every night to get up and do this. I think we both come into the theater and have a little bit of sense of dread about where we know that we have to, go and the things that we have to accomplish, But, when it's all said and done, that's what at least I feel called to do. This is what I want to do with my life. This is what I have spent. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. You know, I'm in the game. You know, so this is what I do it for.
Basically, usually I don't like leading men because I feel like they're just playing themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your character, I just was mesmerized by him. I saw the conflict he had within himself, what he wanted, what he was. You know, who was he? I mean, what was he? He was actually someone else, and that someone else wasn't a very nice person. You know, he was actually his partner.
Yeah.
Trying the good side of his partner. And he couldn't become that until a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah.
So basically, I just loved the piece. I loved your acting because not only that, but you played the perfect cop. When I looked at this guy, I thought you were Irish. I thought you had the mustache, you had the costume, everything all perfect.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, A, I'm not Irish. B, I'm not a cop. C, I've never been called a leading man before, so that's a welcome comment. But I was raised by a military man, so as far as, you know, being, officious in that way, I think that's where I kind of tap into that. I understand that on sort of a base level. So that's, you know, how I'm able to carry that, I think. So, but that's definitely the farthest thing from me in my own life. You know, my whole family are all military folks, and I'm the guy who moved to California and talks about his feelings and stuff. Everybody's deeply ashamed of me. So,
one last question: if my viewers decide to come out and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
Well, I think they're going to see two actors, you know, in a brilliant script, laying their hearts, minds, bodies on the line. I mean, we put everything into this show every night that we go up, and you know, I feel like we executed at a pretty deft level. So, you know, I have done enough theater in my day, especially in New York, to have a good barometer of what's working and what might have some issues, and I feel like we might have tapped into something really good here.
Definitely, I agree. I loved the story. I loved the acting. I thought everything was fantastic. I loved your acting in particular.
So thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
All right. Thank you once again for being on the show.
All right. Thank you.
A Steady Rain will be playing at the John Kirby Studio from July 14th to the 30th. For more information, go to www.steadyrain.brownpapertickets.com. This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Skylight Theater for the world premiere of The Devil's Wife.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. Now I'm here with...
Hello, I'm Eric, and I directed The Devil's Wife.
So, question, what drew you to this piece anyway?
Tom Jacobson and I have known each other for a few years now, and I've read a bunch of his scripts. I love his work. And as a pastor's son who has had his own interesting journey with religion and belief, I thought that The Devil's Wife was an interesting opportunity to direct a fable, which is not done very often these days.
I cover a lot of theater. I cover like 100 shows per year. I really don't get a lot of spirituality behind it. And it's such a deep concept, and it affects a lot of people's lives, and I've always been curious about that. Maybe it's just it just turns some people off and all that, but I don't get enough of it. I really like that. I really like your piece.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Yeah, I think while I've sort of moved away from traditional Christian beliefs from my childhood, I think that all of us are wrestling the way Sophia does in the play with whether or not God exists, whether the devil exists, how to deal with issues as we know them as good and evil, and so this idea of how to live a life, basically, and how one's belief set affects one's actions is really what the play is all about. And I love that in this production, Sophia, we're putting a woman of color in this position of she has the final say without spoiling the play, let's just say.
Yeah, and actually, again, you know, a bit about the topic. I love the topic where it came up with, you know, basically, if there was no God, then who's God? Who's responsible for this? We're responsible for that, which is just scary a lot. And I guess we're not doing a very good job of it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I think that if you were to talk to Tom, the playwright, it's really the question of, you know, there's a lot about free will in the play, and we have to decide what that means to us. What does it mean to take action into our own hands and accept the fact that we are God unto ourselves, we are the devil unto ourselves, and that's a lot of responsibility for us. It's no longer a world where we think, oh, something terrible happened, well, God willed it so. Now it's really about, you know, I think about global warming and how the planet is heating up, and we have to really think about the fact that we are responsible for taking care of this planet, and so we're all Sophia, basically.
Yeah, I love your actors you chose. They were perfect for the parts. What do you look for in your casting?
Oh gosh, that's a tough question. Every play is completely different. This was a play that had heightened language, which is not super common right now, especially in Los Angeles. I think there's just a general American trend in theater toward heightened naturalism, and this is a play with heightened language. It's a stylistic piece. There's a lot of tone to figure out, tone and style, and that's something that is sort of more common in, say, the classics or Restoration comedy, but this is a play that is brand new, and so we were looking for actors on this show that had a grasp of language, of heightened language, but also understood how to take a brand new piece and make it their own, to originate the roles.
I thought the interplay between them was fantastic. I thought the language, the way to handle it was fantastic. Again, I love the story, and I also loved the direction. And also the scenery was done pretty well too. It was pretty well, even if you're not into the heavy thinking. It was almost like a nice fairy tale where you basically looked at all the pretty sceneries, pretty people, lovely language, lovely movement, lovely talk. So it was just a really good piece.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm an imagistic director. I like to direct based on ideas of an image, and so I had a really strong idea about the scene. Well, I don't want to spoil things, but I had a few images in my mind of a certain costume piece and how that interplayed with lights and sound, and it felt like there was strong imagery that people could walk home still thinking about and what that means as it relates to the text of the play. So I was really pleased to be invited to join the process.
Once again, I really loved the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Tom Jacobson. Tonight we had the world premiere of my play, The Devil's Wife.
I love this piece. I thought it was fantastic.
Great, I'm so happy.
So question, why did you decide to write this piece anyway?
I was climbing a pyramid in the Yucatan, and it was raining while the sun was shining, and there was a double rainbow, and my partner Ramon and I both remembered the southern expression, that means the devil is beating his wife when it's raining while the sun is shining. And I thought, has there ever been a play called The Devil's Wife? And there hasn't been, but there is an Italian folktale, and that's what the play is based on.
I've seen the other works that you've done before, and I noticed that you do have a spirituality amongst the pieces that you write. Where does that come from?
Well, I'm a lifelong Lutheran. I still go to church in West LA, and that influences a lot of what I write. I get good ideas in church when the sermon is boring, and I sometimes think about theological things.
You know, a lot of people think when people go to church, well, first of all, that, you know, if you're in Hollywood, you're liberal, you don't go to church, you're just an atheist, period. Or basically, if you're in the arts, you're in Hollywood, but again, you're just an atheist. But that's not really true. Some people actually do have a faith to them.
Well, it's very inspirational for me to go to church and be a place where I can think, get ideas, think about big things, and then also relax a little bit and kind of mellow out and take an hour out of my week to think about, well, to think really, because we don't get a chance to think. We have to do all the time.
Yeah, I love the spirituality because I just don't get a lot of spirituality in theater. They kind of shy away from like it's a taboo topic, like politics, even worse than politics. I've seen a lot of political plays, but it's so, you know, the metaphysics behind it, it's so relevant to your life that good, bad, what is good, whose responsibility for the injustice in the world and all that. People just don't think about that. And again, I think they should. And I love pieces like this that actually at least open the debate.
Well, and I don't even think of this as a religious play, even though it's framed religiously. It's a play about personal responsibility, as you just said, in thinking about injustice and what can we do? What is our responsibility in the world? If there is no God, it's up to us. We become God, we have that responsibility.
Exactly. That's kind of the moral I got from. Even though again you are a spiritual person, you do go to church, but this story didn't say you have to go to church because I believe you go to church. It doesn't say you have to believe in what I believe. It's more like, hey, this is what's going out there. This is my idea, my spiritual revelation and all that. What do you guys think about it? That's what I got from the play.
Well, I'm glad that you had your own take on it, because that is what I hope people will experience, that they will think a little bit about things they're not used to thinking about, or we don't usually take the time to think about.
Yeah. Once again, I really love the piece. I thought it was fantastic.
Great. Well, I'm delighted that you came and delighted that you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with...
My name is Carolyn Zeller, and I play the Devil's Wife. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I moved to California to go to USC to get my MFA in acting, and I have been an Angelino ever since. So about a decade living here and creating and developing work here in Los Angeles County.
Great. And which character did you play again?
I played Sophia, the youngest sister of the three, the kind of clever intellectual who then ends up marrying the devil and trying to find her way through this chaos of what she just married into, and she had no idea that she was doing it to begin with. You know, I find that Sophia is probably one of the smartest characters that I've ever had to really encounter, and I find that during the story she is constantly changing. So it's not a character that just settles on the impression of what she thinks she knows, but because she is constantly discovering things, she is having to have all of these micro shifts during this entire learning process in the adventure or the trajectory of this love affair that continuously changes as well, right? So she can love him and hate him at the same time, and yet she's never solid into just thinking one way or just having one idea. It's shifting throughout the entire course of the play.
I really love this piece. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We worked hard. We did a lot of good stuff and spent a lot of time really developing and creating together as a unit to make this as cohesive as possible. You know, it's a very smart piece, so there is a lot of theology that we're exploring, but it's also making that theology very active with a heart and a soul and a vibration that propels the story forward, and that we could take that in as a group and as a unit under this incredible direction and steer towards a common goal, knowing that all of the shifts are going to happen within all of the scenes, and we take care of each other.
Once again, I really love the performance. I love your performance tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with...
Hi, Everett Wallen. Actually, I'm a member of the Skylight Theater Company here. This is about the fourth production I've done for them, and it's really exciting just to act with a new cast of characters, a new director, but I've worked with Gary Grossman before, and it's a great group. It's a great group. Played Nicholas Mastema, and also a character named Rattel. I don't want to give away too much, but I will say that both of them have maybe similar goals in mind, but they go about very different ways in promoting them. So one is a clever, dashing character, and another is a very elderly, gnomish type fellow.
Okay, if my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
I would tell them to think of it in sort of the same idea and ilk of a Grimm's fairy tale. If it was on a poster somewhere, I would imagine it in old English letters, almost saying in the same way of Once Upon a Time, instead saying the Devil's Wife. So if you like that kind of thing, where there's a moral of the story or a philosophy that makes you think about while watching interesting, sort of exciting fairy-like characters, then this would be the thing for you to see.
I love this piece. I loved your performance also in it. I thought you were fantastic. Because I'm the type of person who likes anti-heroes. I kind of like things dark.
Sure.
So I like people who are complex. I don't like people who are simple and straightforward.
Sure.
And obviously you played a character that was very complex.
Indeed, yeah. He's got a lot of facets to it, like most of us do. And like you're saying, a lot of times those are really interesting people to try to investigate. So he definitely has a lot of dark, but I think there's some light he wants to get out, but he just doesn't know really how to go about it. So it's a fun piece for sure.
Also, it's very intellectual. It's very spiritual.
Yes.
It's metaphysical, and also it has a lot to do with modern day life. In a sense, your decision on things like, say, what's right and what's wrong.
Well, this certainly asks about how people go about what they want in life, and it also, what are you willing to give up in order to get something that you want? and how human beings sort of negotiate in that way. And really, what is our best selves? We don't live in a black and white world. We live in a gray world, and I think it promotes that kind of thought and the complexity that every human is, which is gray more than it is any other color.
Yeah. Once again, I love the performance. I loved you. I wish I could discuss more about, analyze more, but you can basically write books about this. You can spend your whole life thinking about this, trying to make a decision. What is right? What, you know what I mean?
Sure,
your whole life. This is your whole life that you make a decision on, and I just loved it. I thought you were beautiful.
Well, thank you so much. And they're questions that you and I certainly won't solve tonight, but it is something to come out and see and have an entertaining evening. So thank you so much for coming.
Okay. Once again, I love the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Alana Dietz. I'm an actress and a director. I've done over 20 shows in the LA area.
And which character did you play tonight?
I played Jul21, the middle sister. Jul21 is described as being very sweet, which she is in a way, but she's also very sensual. She's very in touch with her sexuality, and she is really a consumer of life. She's a hedonist, and she wants to experience everything that life can offer.
Great. Well, I love this piece. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, great.
But if my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
Hopefully you'll laugh a lot. It's a lot of fun, and it's a really a moral tale. It's almost like a fable, and it will leave you with questions. I think hopefully good ones that will provoke you even after you leave the theater.
I love the performance. Also, I thought it was, first of all, it's something that, like you said, everyone says good theater will leave you with things to think about. It'll take like your whole life to decide what this is. It'll take like this kind of describes who you are. You are the person who comes in with the opinion, and this piece is defined by basically your beliefs or your understanding of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't subscribe to any particular set of beliefs, but something that the play explores that I think is universal is the idea that the things that bring you joy are also the things that can bring you suffering.
Yeah, I kind of also, something I liked about the story, it's kind of like, if no one has responsibility for this, who's responsible? Am I the one responsible? You know what I mean? Inside, at the very end, it's like suddenly she's the one responsible, and that's very scary. Very scary.
Yeah.
But very heavy too, because it suddenly explains a lot about this world and who's doing things, who's not doing things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, everyone's complicit, and there's a big question at the end as to whether someone, I don't want to give anything away, but that Sophia can do a better job than this other person, and I think that's a question that we're facing in our world now as well, is who's best equipped to handle the problems of the world, and can anyone do a better job than anybody else?
Yeah. Once again, I really loved it. Again, I would actually almost agree with you that this is a fairy tale. I wouldn't recommend it for kids though, because there's one or two scenes there that maybe are not appropriate. But I loved your performance. I thought you were fantastic in it, and I love the story behind this. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Sure, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with.
Hi, I'm Mariel Netto. I grew up in the Bay Area. I've been working in theater since I was a kid, and in the Northwest, a little bit in the Midwest, and I moved down to LA about 3 years ago. Been having a time here, going at it.
Great, and which character did you play tonight?
I play Bonita. Bonita's really fun. She's very interested in being pure, in maintaining her family's estate. She needs security, and at the root of it all, she's willing to do anything to maintain her rather extravagant lifestyle.
Well, I love this piece. I thought it was fantastic. I love the cast, and I love your acting in it also.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
So if my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
Well, it's very fabulistic, a bit of magic, fast, fun, hot, heavy, intense. It's a great, fun little romp.
Yeah, I love that. I thought it was also very deep in a sense that it addresses a lot of things that I just don't see in theater about is there such a thing as good and evil? Things like that, about metaphysics, things that there is no answer to, but it may take your whole life to try to figure out.
Absolutely. I mean, it really brings up questions of what is good and evil, and what is the gray area that lies in between, and it's a lot of existential questions. Yeah, it asks the big questions, but in a fun way.
Yeah, I thought it was very entertaining. I would actually recommend this for kids, except for there was one scene there I think it was just inappropriate.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I think there were a couple scenes that were a bit inappropriate for children, yes. Definitely a lot of sex humor, for sure, which we all enjoy.
Yeah. So basically, I thought it was very funny. I thought it was, even if you don't go for the physical, the metaphysical side, the theological side, the deep spirituality bit, it was just very entertaining. It was very funny. It was very pretty. It was just a very lovely, a lovely general theater show.
Well, there aren't that many period pieces that are being written contemporarily, so it's exciting to have a new play that is set in the 1860s, especially 1860s Los Angeles. It's an area of history that not many people are willing to discover and look upon, and it was a really interesting time for the Californios who are losing their estates to all these lawyers, and it's important for us as Los Angeles to understand that history, especially going forward and current politics.
Okay, once again, I love the performance. I love your performance, and awesome. Yeah. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
The Devil's Wife will be playing at Skylight Theater from June 15th to August 20th. For more information, go to www.skylighttheater.org.